Hello, my name is Craig Stevens. I am the Chief Exec of DubiCars based here in the UAE, the market-leading website for buying and selling used cars, and I am delighted to be joined by Sebastian Fuchs. Sebastian is the Managing Director of AutoData Middle East. He's only been in the country for 15 months, so he's still fresh to the country, and today we're going to find out more about how he finds the market, what products he's going to bring to the market, and how this market is slightly different to other markets across the world.
Thank you, Craig. Great to be here, and happy to talk a little bit about what we actually do in AutoData, what we've been doing in the past, and what has changed, and how we're trying to bring a little bit of innovation to the market as well.
Excellent. It sounds very good. Now, maybe you can very quickly talk to us about what it is your business does and what problem is it trying to solve.
Sure. So AutoData, we basically do three services today. We start with identification of cars, which is basically you give us a chassis number and we'll identify the car, make, model, trim, year for you. The second service that we're actually looking at is valuation. So we look at used car pricing and we give values back. So again, you give us the data and we tell you what's the value of your car. And the third service is history data, basically accidents, total losses, that kind of data. That's what we then package into different products, and we sell it to consumers and we sell it to dealers in the market.
Excellent. I'm just going to ask two quick questions on that just for clarification. So one around the valuation. What does that actually mean, and how do you do it? Is that for consumers or dealers or both? Or
so we actually do it for both sides. We're trying to obviously help the dealers on the trade-ins mainly. So we've got a product that they can use around that, and their portfolio of cars as well. As you know, a used car market is a market where the prices change relatively often, and not any car is the same as its neighboring car, right? Because the different mileage, different registration, different trim. So every car, every product's different, and that's what we help dealers with. One of our products, Deal Refs, and then we also give that advice to consumers, because obviously the UAE is a country where a lot of people coming in and out, and people are fresh. They need to understand the market. It's really difficult. It's a market that is also dispersed into like different sections and kind of what kind of level of car you want to buy. We want to make sure that people get a bit of a guide point, and that's where we serve it up in our Vehicle Report product. And there we basically give a reflection of the market price.
Excellent. We'll come back to valuation in a minute. I just want to ask one more point around clarification around the history. So what kind of history are you finding out about the car? What do we know from the cars being driven in the GCC?
So here we look at accident data mainly from the GCC markets, where we have partnerships with local platforms that we are actually taking. Basically, if you had an accident, it get reported by the police. That information, we get it. We put it in a nice format. We serve it up for you based on a chassis number. So it's individual information based per car, not on the individual person. So we're good from a data perspective as well. So and actually covers today the UAE, Oman, and we're in conversations also with Saudi Arabia right now, and hopefully we'll go into other markets in the next 12 to 18 months as well.
Excellent. So if I'm a consumer in the UAE, I can buy a report from you which clarifies the vehicle based on the VIN. It gives me a pretty accurate valuation which helps me buy or sell, and you give me all the history in terms of insurance and anything on that car which I would find useful if I was potentially buying that car.
So yes, it basically gives you the accident data. Insurance data depends a little bit on how many insurances we are partnering with. We are the market leader when it comes to selling valuations to insurance companies. Now, when you in the market register your car or you insure your car, the insurance company is going to ask you for a value. That value, you can be sure 80% of the time comes from us. And in the return for that, we also have information on claims from the insurance companies, which we then actually are here sharing on a car level basis. Again, no personal information shared.
And roughly, what would a consumer pay for this service?
It's very, very simple. It's 99 dirhams.
99 dirhams?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a no-brainer for a consumer then. You spend 99 dirhams and you get all of that information to help you buy.
All of that information, and on top, we are actually partnered up with Shori for better insurance quotes.
Okay.
We've also got a couple of banks that are giving credits on the platform, and also in the car buying game. Now, if you're in the buying and you want to have an independent opinion, we've got more than eight inspection companies already on the platform, and I can tell you that we're also going to introduce warranties into the platform as well. So you're not only getting this for the 99 dirhams, and as you say, it's a no-brainer compared to value of any car, right? And any car that you buy will be probably 20,000 dirhams at least, right? And if you go to the more expensive ones, we're talking about hundreds of thousands. The 99 dirhams is a no-brainer. Yeah.
Very good. So maybe you can just tell us a bit about how the UAE market is different. I think just give us a high level about how we're different, and also, what would your advice be to consumers thinking about buying a car? Obviously, to buy one of your reports, but apart from just buying one of your reports, how this market differs, and what good common sense guidelines you give to consumers to help them buy safely.
Yeah, I think we all, those of you who've been longer in the market do realize there is different tiers of markets, and depending on, I guess, how good you feel with the risk level that you want, there's different ways of purchasing your car. I think if you're more of okay, I'm here, I'm new, I've got very limited knowledge, use the agencies, right? They'll give you fair deals. Probably go with new car offers, and go the safe route, I would say. There is then obviously the used car market for those who say, like, I want to be a bit budget savvy. On that one, I would say, be careful with whom you're trading, because obviously then comes in the point of, is it a local car, is it an imported car? Come to us, Vehicle Report, and do a check before you buy the car, because ultimately it will make sure that you not only have done a test drive, but it also gives you all the data and the information. And if you wanted to buy a car that's not original to the country, and it's an imported car from Europe or US and Canada, where we all know there's good offers on the market sometimes, and you feel tempted, that's really when you should inquiry with us, because we have those data covered with our partner Carfax.
So where else can you give information? So if the cars come from Canada, you can provide that history. America, you can provide Europe.
Europe, about, I think it's 20 countries that we cover in Europe right now. Okay.
And that's probably, if I look at our site, the majority of the cars are coming from either GCC or those three countries. So
I think that's the majority of over the last 5-10 years import, right? So that's the majority of car park also in the market. We know there is a bit of trend of Korean cars, there are some Japanese cars, and we're working on those sources. We'll have them introduced later in the year. They're not as easy to get, but we're working on this.
Yeah. So just going back to the guidelines for consumers, I think that's what most consumers will want to know is, how do I protect myself? How do I make sure I have a good investment? And I think, like when you're buying any used good, there's always an element of risk. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a used car. In fact, I bought a used iPad for my son last week, and I bought a dud. So I wish I had your check. Maybe you could have told me what was going on there. But anyway, I think you always got to go through that process. So I think it'd be good maybe just to zone in on that. I think yes, you should try and pick a good retailer, but that's not always the case. Because you don't know sometimes. I think it's always good to have an independent inspection of that vehicle. Obviously test drive that vehicle, make sure it's the right car for you. And at that point then, would you say that's when they should start investing in your reports?
Exactly. I think the journey is basically like, go and find your car first, right? I mean, you go onto the website, and obviously DubiCars is a good source to kind of search the market. There are other players in the market you can use, but for the sake of argument today, then once you've identified that, and once you've probably walked down to a test drive, I'm not sure whether it may be even worthwhile saying, like, hey, even before you do a test drive, do the check, because you might spare yourself from a test drive with a car that you definitely don't want, right? A written off car or a totaled car. So I would say go and do your digital research, find the car, and we have package offers as well. So you can get a package offer for our vehicle report. So you can do it with 4 or 5 reports, and pull the report before you do the test drive, I would say.
Okay.
Get the chassis number of the dealer. That's already a first test. Like, if he gives you that easily, he's confident on the quality of the car.
Yeah.
then you double check that confidence by getting the report. If you get a green flag on that one, go and do the test drive. Once you've done the test drive, obviously ask the retailer for his suggested partners of banks, insurance companies, and the likes. But maybe then benchmark them with the ones that we have on our platform and just look at it, right? Get a feel for it. Because I think that's, all too often, a lot of people come from a different country. The currency is foreign to us when we come new. And numbers quickly become like, oh, well, it's only that. Or it's that much, right? So get a feeling for everything that you purchase, right? Like, I'll give a good example. When I got my first car, dealer told me, hey, your car insurance is only 12,000 dirhams.
Did you buy that Ferrari, did you?
I did not, right? And I can share it here. I ended up paying 4,000 for my insurance, right? Yeah. So I think, these kind of learnings, they're invaluable, and you need to kind of look at them.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's really, really good advice. I think, the trouble for expats coming to this country is that there will be cars that you're not familiar with. In the UK where I'm from, and I'm sure in Germany, you didn't see Nissan Patrols driving up and down the road and stuff like that. So there are definitely cars that we're not familiar with as expats, so definitely do that research. And not just research the actual buying of the car, but actually financing the car and insuring the car and making sure you've got all of that in place before you go ahead and make a decision. I think that the problem with car buying is, and I'm as guilty as the next man, even though I've been involved in this industry for years, is it's still an emotional purchase.
It is.
And you have to get that head and heart thing right to make sure you actually buy the right car.
Indeed.
Is there anything else you'd want to tell the consumers about how to buy safely, or anything else about your products and services?
I think to round it up, look, it is the right thing to double check and to kind of like be safe when you do this, right? The car still ultimately is the second biggest purchase that you make next to a house or a home, and we all know how much bells and whistles we put around the home purchase, right? But even more, you're not only putting at risk your financials. If you get the wrong car, you put your life at risk, right? It can be a health threat, and from that perspective, it's probably really important to kind of put that 99 dirhams down there. And if in doubt, I would say rather, as you said, emotional purchase. Well, maybe sometimes give it a pass. Wait for the right car. Right? Don't follow your heart blindly on a car purchase.
All right, okay, well, that's brilliant advice. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I think the advice is super clear. 99 dirhams is probably going to be the best investment you could make when it comes to buying your next car. I wish you the best of luck with your business.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Thanks for today. Thank you.
Thank you.